Arvind Kejriwal, it's a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
And you're going from strength to strength.
Thank you.
Riding the wave of political power that is to come. You think you're going to get into power?
It's not we who are getting into power. I think it's the Aam Aadmi who is getting into power, because the Aam Aadmi of this country is really fed up of the present political system. They don't see a hope in this present political system. So I'm very sure Aam Aadmi Party will form government in Delhi. They will not only form government, they will form government with overwhelming majority. There is a very strong undercurrent all across Delhi. For instance, I'll request you to do an experiment. When you walk out of your studio today, just talk to the first 10 people that you come across on the street and ask them who will they vote for. I can tell you at least 8 out of 10 will tell you that they will vote for Jhadu this time.
Will they say it and actually vote for them? Or?
I think they'll do it. Why will they tell you a lie?
Why would they say they would vote for the Jhadu?
Two things have happened simultaneously. One is people have completely lost faith in BJP and Congress, and they see that there is an understanding between these two parties. And secondly, they see us. They were always fed up of BJP and Congress, but there was no credible political alternative. They see us as that credible and honest political alternative.
Right.
I'll give you an example. Yogendra Yadav was traveling in an auto a few days back, and they got into a conversation. Auto driver didn't know that Yogendra Yadav belonged to our party. Auto driver himself started, "Saab, aap kisko vote doge is baar?" So Yogendra Yadav acted as a devil's advocate. He says, "मैं Congress को vote दूंगा." So auto driver then started convincing him. Then Yogendra Yadav said, "Arvind Kejriwal कुछ नहीं करने वाला." तो auto driver made a very important statement. उसने कहा, "सर वो आदमी करे या ना करे, लेकिन मैं सीना चौड़ा करके कहूँगा मेरा मुख्यमंत्री ईमानदार है."
That's anecdotal. What you're telling me is anecdotal. It's
I
a
agree,
one-off.
but
it's a story that suits you.
Yeah, I agree. But
there
will
be many other people who will take the other line.
I agree with you. What I'm trying to say is the sentiment of the people. The sentiment is they want an honest government. They want an honest government. They are really fed up of corruption. They are really fed up of dishonesty. इस बार वोट ईमानदारी के नाम पे पड़ेगा.
So Arvind, what happened? You know, the Arvind Kejriwal I know was an Arvind Kejriwal who said, "I'm not interested in these social movements to be a minister." The Arvind Kejriwal I know or knew in 2011 said, "No, I am not going to fight elections." In fact, in November 2012, after launching the Aam Aadmi Party, you said, "We will not fight elections on muscle power or money. I am not hungry for power. I don't want to be a minister." Now you're talking of being chief minister. Surveys are being done on whether you will be chief minister. Why this change, and how, at some level, Arvind, do you justify this to yourself? How do you justify this big change to yourself?
Firstly, I completely concede. I didn't say it once, I said it at least 100 times.
I know, I asked you many
before, not just you, everyone asked me, and everywhere we said, we are not interested in elections. We were never interested in elections. And the evidence of our intention is, your honest intention is, that if actually we had to get into power, if actually we had to form the party, the best time to form the party was when Anna just got up from his unshan after 13 days at Ramlila Maidan. The whole country was in our favor.
No, it would have gone completely against you at that point of time, because the whole country was in your favor, because you were not a political party.
Right.
If you had made that announcement, there would have been a reverse swing effect.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is, we had no intention to form a political party. We had no intention to enter into politics. We had no intention to fight elections. But in the last 2 years, we did everything. We tried everything. Anna sat on Anshan, I sat on Anshan. We met these ministers so many times. We met all the political parties. We pleaded before them. Prime Minister had written a letter to Anna Hazare when Anna got up from fast. On the entire Parliament gave an assurance to Anna ji, and it is 2 years now. The Prime Minister cheated the people. All the political parties cheated the people. Now should we just keep on sitting outside, and should we keep on shouting and screaming?
That was about the Jan Lokpal, your election. You know, just one second. You are not fighting the Delhi election for the Jan Lokpal.
We are saying that now the first thing that this government will do, Aam Aadmi Party will form the government, and within 15 days of forming the government, we will pass the Lokpal bill for which Anna sat on Anshan. That will be first passed in Delhi. And if as soon as
Delhi-centric Jan Lokpal, it's not the Jan Lokpal which you are fighting for. Why are you narrowing your own ambitions? Why are you being specific? Arvind, let me be very direct with you. Was this Jan Lokpal movement not a indirect way for you to enter into the mainstream, find an excuse for it, then get into the Delhi elections, and now after winning the Delhi elections you will say it is necessary for us to be the voice of the people nationally. We'll now become a national political party.
So what is wrong? Good people should enter politics.
It's a complete opposite of what you said 2 years back.
I am saying, I'm still conceding that. I'm not saying that we didn't say it. I am saying that we were forced into politics. Every time we used to ask for Jan Lokpal Bill, Digvijay Singh and other political parties would make fun of us. They would stand up and say, "Arey Lokpal Bill chahiye to khud chunav lado aur khud andar aa jao aur khud kar lo."
But you would then, even when they made fun of you, you would stand back and say, "This is our way of doing things."
Exactly.
And the people of this country were with you. They said, "Look here is a group of people who want to do things without seeking anything for themselves." In that sense, there was a sense of altruism. It was an altruistic activity.
Now let me put it in.
When did that altruistic activity change?
It is still altruistic. It is not the first time that I was an income tax. I was an income tax commissioner. As a commissioner, I had huge amount of power. If I had to make money, I could have made huge amount of money as a commissioner. I didn't make a single paisa. I quit that job and started working in jhuggies in the slums of Delhi. For 10 years, I was working in the slums of Delhi. Now when the entire country is facing problem of corruption and price rise, should I be a mute spectator and say that I am altruistic, I want to save my own image? We have entered into politics. We are accepting the challenge.
There was corruption and price rise in 2 years back when you were active with the Aam Aadmi
so
Party.
We at that time, believe
in
me,
March of 2011 and April of 2011, when this became a movement, India Against Corruption, there was corruption, there was price rise. In fact, price rise was at its extreme in 2009, at which point of time even within the Congress party they were looking for remedies to it. Even in those circumstances, you never made price rise or people's issues or rising electricity prices a reason for entering politics. Your method has changed.
No, that is exactly what I am saying.
Why has your method changed?
Method has changed because we have tried everything. This has been the last resort for us. We have tried everything. We sat on Anshan, Anna sat on Anshan, we put our life at stake. We did everything. What else we could have done? We could have kept on doing Anshans at Jantar Mantar. They would be very happy if we do Anshan and we die at Jantar Mantar. They'll be very happy with that. Now let me just put it in right perspective. In August 2011, when Anna sat on Anshan, why is it thousands and thousands and lakhs of people came on the streets? Why is it that it is only because they saw a hope at that point of time? They saw a road. Can I just complete and then after that you can interject? They saw a ray of hope at that time that yes, this time Jan Lokpal Bill might come and people would get a relief from corruption in this country. After that, when the government cheated, when all the political parties cheated, they did not pass a Jan Lokpal Bill. When whatever happened in Parliament, people saw that. Subsequently, whenever Anna sat on Anshan, people did not turn up. And I used to get phone calls at that time. People would say, "You guys are good, but why are you sitting on Anshan every time?" Because people can clearly see, are you guys foolish that you are sitting on Anshan every time? The government will not give you Jan Lokpal Bill. Now when we have formed a political party, again people are turning up in hordes and hordes. Come to any of my meetings. Every evening I have at least 6 or 7 public meetings, and we don't have money to get the people in trucks, and we are not distributing money and lunches and dinners to the people. We are not paying them to come. Thousands of people are thronging our meeting. Again they see a ray of hope. This is time when they see that if Aam Aadmi Party comes to power, there will be a change.
You say in August 2011, why did so many people come to Jantar Mantar, to the other places where you were holding these big rallies? They came, and it is said, because of 3 things. Now you can contradict me if you want, but let me say my 3 things. One, they came because corruption had been exposed in an incremental manner by the media between June 2010 and February of 2011. There were several scams in which there was no Arvind Kejriwal, there was no Kiran Bedi, there was no Anna Hazare. It were news channels like us who were putting out CWG, 2G, Devasis Ro, Adarsh, Aircell Maxis.
Then why didn't they turn up at Mumbai?
One sec. So there was a movement which was there among the people, which was the angst of the people against corruption and repeated scams, exposed by the media, not by Arvind Kejriwal or Anna Hazare.
Entire credit goes to you.
No, I'm not here to take credit. I'm saying that's one. Second is, they saw in you a non-political group. They saw a group of people who are repeatedly making an assertion, we want nothing for ourselves. They pinned their hope in you, Arvind. And they did not pin their hope only in Delhi. They pinned their hope in you nationally. But when they saw disunity among the group and some inkling of political ambition within the group creeping in, they deserted you in Mumbai.
Why? I don't agree with it. That is your That is your assessment. I think the people of this country are far more political than you would assume that they are political. They don't hate politics. You can take that line.
I didn't say they hate politics.
No,
I said they saw a group of people who were set aside from the political system. So, Arvind, you were apart from the political system. You were different.
They still see us as different. You may not see us as different. They still see us as different, and that is the only reason. I mean, I am requesting you, why don't you come to any of our meetings, and why don't you go to the meetings organized by the present set of politicians in Delhi? People just don't come to their meetings. Hardly 50 people, 60 people are coming to the meetings of the local MLAs or even the CM and the local BJP politicians. And you come to any of our meetings, thousands of people are thronging us. So I think the people are appreciating our efforts. The people are appreciating the struggle that we have put in the last 3-4 years. And the people see a ray of hope in this political battle.
Now just a quick counter to that, Arvind. Noble intentions and crowds does not necessarily imply political success. Number of instances in our country are testimony to that. Let's take one example. Let's take an individual. A decade and a half back, there was an individual called T.N. Seshan, former Chief Election Commissioner, widely hailed for trying to clean up electoral politics in this country, trying to make a quantum and strategic change in the way we approach our politics. He fought against Advani in Gandhinagar, 99 Lok Sabha election, suffered a big defeat. He was optimistic. He spoke the language that you did. He said the same thing. People are turning up to see me, to hear me. They are tired and fed up with the system. In me, say they see a ray of hope. Why did he lose?
But this is not the only example. You can give many other examples who failed. In addition to T.N. Seshan, I can give you many other examples who failed. And I can give you some examples who succeeded also. So life is full of success. In 1977 there was a strong wave. In VP Singh there was a strong wave.
It was a national wave.
In Assam Gan Parishad they won in Assam. NTR won in Andhra Pradesh.
Those were regional movements.
So these are the
yours is not a regional movement, nor is it a national wave.
So they were different in their own ways. This is different in its own way. So I'm sure that you would this time also you would be surprised to see the results. The results that come.
What happens is that let's take apart T.N. Seshan. T.N. Seshan was an individual. Right. Let's take the example of someone who formed a party. I take this example often of the Lok Satta party. It actually contested, like you're contesting the 2013 elections in Delhi. It contested, I think, the 2009 elections in Andhra Pradesh. It also participated in the Lok Sabha elections that year. It was idealistic, it was clean, it was led by a clean person, there were clean candidates, there were crowds who came to listen to them, they championed the cause of greater transparency in the political system. So, I can draw an example between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Lok Satta Party.
I can draw an example between Aam Aadmi Party and Assam Gan Parishad.
So how can you? That's a regional movement.
So how can you? That is a different party.
No, the nature of the leader, the cause being espoused, the nature of the fight at the local level.
This party has come out of a national movement which fired the imagination of the people. There is a very different.
But you have moved far away from that, Arvind.
People don't see us like that. Arnab Goswami may see us like that, but people don't see us
Arvind
like that. People still see us as struggling today. No, if anything wrong happens to a woman in Delhi, they don't call up the Chief Minister's office, they call up Aam Aadmi Party. That is the kind of faith that the people
When Anna Hazare is not with you, when Kiran Bedi is not with you, when your movement has got disintegrated at that level, how can you still say that people identify you with the August of 2011? I would say, Arvind, you've moved far away from the August of 2011. You can't hold on to it.
We have travelled quite far.
You can't. You've moved away from 2011. You concede you moved away.
No, we've travelled quite far, and it is to our credit that we did not go back home after the movement on this. After the government did not respond to the movement, we actually took the next logical step, and that is we entered politics. And that is why people like us. People think that we are courageous. We have the courage to take the next logical step.
How many of the people who are watching today who also feel that you compromised by joining politics?
I think why don't you right now ask your people to do a survey right now?
If I do a survey, then I can tell you
let's see
at least 50% of the people. If I can assure you, at least 50% of the people.
Do they agree are entering into politics, or they don't agree into entering into politics?
If the question goes this way, and I'll actually make this interactive. The question goes this way: that I'm talking to Arvind Kejriwal, and my question, for example, to the viewer is this: that if you're watching, frankly speaking, how many of you believe that Arvind Kejriwal, instead of fighting a Delhi election, would have been more effective if he had made his social crusade, galvanized it, kept it non-political, and strengthen it all across India rather than fighting the elections to be Delhi Chief Minister? I put that question to the people,
No,
and we'll get the responses right when this interview is being telecast.
Arnab, you're very good with your words.
I'm not at all. I think you are better.
You're expert on English language.
नहीं, हिंदी भी थोड़ी बहुत बोल लेता हूँ, तो मैं सवाल हिंदी में पूछता हूँ कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जो लोग इस वक्त फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग देख रहे हैं, उसके बाद आप उसका अनुवाद कर दीजिए. जो लोग फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग देख रहे हैं, उनको मेरा सवाल ये है कि आपको क्या लगता है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जो ये आम आदमी पार्टी लॉन्च करके दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री बनने की एक कोशिश कर रहे हैं, कोशिश कर रहे हैं, क्या आपको लगता है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल अगर सोशल एक्टिविस्ट होके देश भर घूम के अपने आम आदमी पार्टी या इंडिया अगेंस्ट करप्शन को नॉन पॉलिटिकल रखते ज्यादा इफेक्टिव होते या नहीं होते? अब तो मुझे लगता है 50% तो कहेंगे कि आप
100% कहेंगे
पॉलिटिशियन नहीं बनना चाहिए.
100% कहेंगे. आपने क्वेश्चन ही ऐसा. अब एक क्वेश्चन मेरी तरफ से पूछ लीजिए, अगर थोड़ी बहुत मेरी मानते हैं.
आप खुद पूछ लीजिए.
हाँ, आप ही के चैनल के जरिए दोनों क्वेश्चन पूछ लीजिए कि क्या हम लोगों ने राजनीति में आके ठीक कदम उठाया कि गलत कदम उठाया? दैट्स इट. Was our entering into politics after that movement the right step or the wrong step? Ask this question also. आपको दोनों के जवाब मिल जाएंगे.
अभी what happens if you lose? You see, let me say, because you are putting all these radio ads and you are saying that 45% of people are going to vote for us and all. You see, Arvind Kejriwal, I can argue back and say that you are, it's your first election. You should not build up unrealistic expectations. Even if you make a decent mark for a debutant political party, the fact of the matter remains the kind of statement that you have been making, expectations that you have been putting. Don't you think anything short of extraordinary will be a huge loss of prestige for you?
But extraordinary is going to happen. Let me.
What is extraordinary? Let's put it on numbers.
Allow me to give me 1 minute time. Firstly, just now you said, कि what happens if we lose elections? This is exactly the question that was asked to me. कि केजरीवाल जी अगर आप नवंबर के चुनाव में हार गए तो आप क्या करोगे? मेरे से किसी ने पूछा अभी 4 दिन पहले. मैंने कहा जी ये मेरे को नहीं सोचना कि अगर मैं हार गया तो क्या करूंगा. ये आपको सोचना है कि अगर हम हार गए तो आप क्या करोगे. ये दिस इज नॉट माई इलेक्शंस. ये मेरा चुनाव नहीं है, ये आम आदमी पार्टी का चुनाव नहीं है, ये आपका चुनाव है, ये इस देश के लोगों का चुनाव है. वी आर द होप. अगर हम हार गए तो वही शीला दीक्षित, वही विजय गोयल, वही बीजेपी, वही कांग्रेस, वही महंगाई, वही भ्रष्टाचार, उसी के अंदर हम लोग पिसते रहेंगे. दिस इज अ होप. हमारी हार या जीत, इट इज नॉट अबाउट माई विनिंग एंड माई लॉस. मेरी जीत और हार इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. देश बचेगा कि नहीं बचेगा ये हम लोगों को सोचना है. So first is that, and second is your second question कि we are raising unnecessary. It is not about our expectations. हम यहाँ पे मंत्री, मुख्यमंत्री या एमएलए बनने के लिए नहीं आए. अपनी नौकरियां पॉलिटिशियन कहते हैं, अपनी नौकरियां छोड़ के आए, अपने करियर छोड़ के आए हैं.
कल एक प्रोग्राम हो रहा था टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया की यूथ पार्लियामेंट. उसमें हरसिमरत कौर बादल थी अकाली दल से. तो यही सवाल पूछा गया था, तो उन्हें बहुत गुस्सा आया. एंड शी सेड दैट व्हाई डोंट यू अंडरस्टैंड that we, the political class of this country, make many sacrifices. We give up jobs. We are educated. We have jobs in government and in the private sector. We make sacrifices so that we can serve the people. Now, Arvind Kejriwal, she's a politician, she's saying that. You're a politician, you're saying the same thing.
Exactly.
The only thing is that you call your party the Aam Aadmi Party, and that's the Shiromani Akali Dal. So,
what is the difference?
Frankly, why should I assume there's any difference?
Sir ji, आप आज भी जो 5 बिलों की अन्ना ने चर्चा की थी, जन लोकपाल बिल, राइट टू रिजेक्ट, राइट टू रिकॉल, स्वराज, आप ये बिल पास करा दीजिए. हमें पार्टी बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है. हम नहीं बनाते पार्टी.
आप मूवमेंट क्यों नहीं करते हैं?
अरे सर, मूवमेंट कर करके मर जाएंगे जंतर मंतर पे. दे विल बी वेरी हैप्पी.
वन मिनट
आप एक दिन का प्रोग्राम चलाओगे हमारे ऊपर.
लेट मी आस्क यू दिस. You have lost faith in the people?
We have not lost faith in the people.
Allow me to.
The people have lost faith in the present set of politicians.
The same people, just because. And counter accusation, just because you saw that people were not with you in Mumbai, did you forget that so many people were with you in Jantar Mantar, in all the other places where you held rallies? They followed you, they had faith in you. I would say, Arvind Kejriwal, you lost faith in the people. You lost faith in the people, and therefore you lost the courage, Arvind, to continue to make it a strong national movement. You could have been championing RTI, you could have been championing bringing political parties under RTI, you could have been championing nationally the right to reject, which I believe frankly is a great thing, but you didn't do that.
Why do you consider politics so bad?
Why didn't you stay true to your promise?
I am still saying, I am admitting that we said all that, and we changed.
You gave it all
We
up.
changed our opinion.
Gave it all up.
Because this is what the people wanted. How do you know what people want? The people tell you what the people want on the basis of whether they turn up or they don't turn up. The people stop turning up because they want a change in the politics of this country. The change in the political system cannot come by doing unfelt anymore.
Do you have faith in the people?
Of course I have faith in the people, but you don't seem to have faith in the people, the crowd that is coming up today. You don't acknowledge that crowd. You say, oh, crowd to aise hi aaja.
Arvind Kejriwal, I have seen the crowds, and at that time itself, we have followed.
So now the crowd has started returning.
The
crowds started returning now, and this is only because the people of this country are fed up of the politics. They are fed up of Shiromani Akali Dal. They are fed up of BJP. They are fed up of Congress. That is the reason that the people are coming to us. That is the reason the people are coming to our.
If this October of 2013, Arvind Kejriwal and all your associates were to sit there in Jantar Mantar again, without a political party, and simply say,
Pass Lokpal Bill.
No, let me complete. Arvind, you are also very good with words. You complete my sentences. If you were to say, youth and the people of this country, the new India wants the right to recede, and Arvind Kejriwal, even if Anna is not with me, I will lead the national movement. You have lost faith in the people. They will not be with you.
They will not come. They will not come. You sit on Anshan.
Because not Anshan. Forget Anshan.
You see what?
Why is Anshan?
Now let's say without Anshan. Who are you asking these things from? You are asking from BJP and Congress. They are sitting in Parliament. They have to pass the law. You are then demanding from those people. Thousands and lakhs of people came to the streets, and these people sitting in Parliament did not agree to that. Now you need to change these people. You need to throw these people out. Good people need to come to the Parliament rather than asking and demanding from the same set of people.
Are you not seeing the wind of change? Have you not seen the way in which political parties, Sushma Swaraj and Rahul Gandhi, let me complete, had to change their own party's positions to go so strongly against an ordinance which would have allowed convicted politicians to continue unchecked? Now you know they did it. They did it because of people's power. You, Arvind Kejriwal, could have been the voice. You could have been their champion. You could have been their vehicle. But look here, Arvind, you give it all away, and you're fighting a election.
Why can't you change Sushma Swaraj and Rahul Gandhi rather than bearing theatrics every day? Other than right now, you want people to put pressure on the government on every single day. Every single day takes thousands of wrong decisions.
You don't think it's a good idea?
Of course it's a good idea, but it's why don't we have seen people sitting in the Parliament? Why we need to bear the theatrics of Rahul Gandhi coming to a press conference and tearing his own bill? Why do we need to bear the theatrics of Bharatiya Janata Party, who behind the scene they sit with the same Congress party, they do a deal?
But why would they tearing the bill? Because they know the people are for tearing the bill.
But why should that occasion arise at all? Why can't we have good people sitting in the Parliament rather than creating situations in this country where the people are always protesting and protesting and protesting?
You were with these people.
I'm still with these people.
These people had faith in you, but you went and joined the other side. You became a politician.
They still have faith in me.
No.
Arnab Goswami has lost faith in me, but the people still have faith in us. The faith of the people has increased many-fold subsequently.
Arvind, now crowds. You claim the Narendra Modi factor will not work in Delhi. 1.5 lakh people, I am told, attended his rally in Rohini on September 29th. Now you remember, Arvind, you came for the Calcutta Club debate with me. It was the winter of 2011, and Salman Khurshid was there, and I remember your words. You said, if Aruna Roy can draw 50,000 people, the government will be forced to listen to her. So Modi has drawn 3 times that number in a Rohini rally. Why do you think that impact will not be there?
You see, the people who came may vote for him in national elections. I don't know about it. But the people clearly see that if they vote for BJP in Delhi, it is not Modi who is becoming the chief minister. It is Vijay Goyal who is becoming the chief minister. And Vijay Goyal is no less dishonest than Sheila Dikshit. I think if given a chance, he will leave her behind within 4 days. You hand over Delhi to him. He is one of the most corrupt persons around. Right now I am told that tickets are being openly sold and being purchased in BJP, where the tickets are being distributed these days.
Where's the proof?
I don't have the proof.
No, how can you?
If I had the proof, we would have done the press
So
conference.
somebody can say Arvind Kejriwal is also selling tickets.
Yes, you can say that.
So what's the value of the accusation?
I'm saying because I came to know, I've said it, and I'm saying that I don't have evidence. I'm
so
saying
what if
this
Vijay
also.
Goyal turns around and says that
Let
I have
him
heard
say-
that Arvind Kejriwal is selling?
Let him say that. People will judge who is telling a lie and who is telling the truth.
Why should people support a party which is eventually going to help Sheila Dikshit retain power? That's what they are saying about you, Arvind. And let's be very clear on that. I want a direct, clear, unambiguous reply to this. We spoke about it. That you are breaking the opposition vote. And that's what makes you useful for those you are fighting.
That is extremely. Now you'll have to give time. You should not interject in between. Many people are saying that we are cutting into BJP's votes and Sheila Dikshit will come back to power. This is complete nonsense. Firstly, are BJP's votes so fragile that they can be cut and some other party can take it away? So that means BJP is actually banking only on anti-Sheila vote, and BJP has nothing to offer by way of any positive achievement. BJP has been in power in Delhi MCD for the last 7 years. There is not a single good thing that BJP has done in the last 7 years in MCD. There is not a single thing that you can get done in MCD without paying a bribe. आपके नक्शे पास नहीं होते दिल्ली में बिना पैसे के, आपकी सड़कें नहीं बनती बिना पैसे के, अगर 2 घंटे बारिश आ जाए तो एंटायर डीसिल्टिंग गेट्स एक्सपोज्ड, डेंगू फीवर फैला हुआ दिल्ली के अंदर, दैट इज ऑल्सो बिकॉज ऑफ एमसीडी. देयर इज नॉट अ सिंगल गुड थिंग दैट हैज टेकन. सो बीजेपी हैज नथिंग positive to offer. The people of Delhi are fed up of both BJP and Congress. The people who are flocking to Aam Aadmi Party, they are coming to Aam Aadmi Party for their honesty, for their struggle and for their ऑनेस्ट इंटेंशंस. हमारी नीयत की वजह से लोग हमारे पास आ रहे हैं और बीजेपी बच्चों की तरह रो रहे हैं, हमारे वोट काट दिए, हमारे वोट काट दिए, हमारे वोट काट दिए. बीजेपी की औकात नहीं है. 15 साल से हार रही है दिल्ली के अंदर बीजेपी. तब कौन वोट काट रहा था इनके बीजेपी वालों के? एक मिनट, लेट मी जस्ट कंप्लीट. बीजेपी की औकात नहीं है. 15 साल से हार रही है दिल्ली में बीजेपी. इस बार भी हारेगी दिल्ली के अंदर बीजेपी. वाई 6 चीफ मिनिस्टर के मुख्य दावेदार हैं और वो 6 के 6 आपस में लड़ रहे हैं. इस बार भी हारेगी, अपने कुकर्मों की वजह से हारेगी इस बार भी बीजेपी. देयर इज ओनली वन पार्टी व्हिच कैन चैलेंज शीला दीक्षित इन दिल्ली एंड दैट इज आम आदमी पार्टी.
दैट्स अ पॉलिटिकल.
अच्छा, एक चीज है,
ये तो पॉलिटिकल.
अगर हम लोग,
मेरा सवाल,
मेरा सवाल, आज शीला दीक्षित के खिलाफ मैं चुनाव लड़ रहा हूं. अगर बीजेपी वालों की औकात है, व्हाई कांट दिस वन ऑफ द सीनियर लीडर्स कम एंड फाइट इन द सेम कंस्टिट्यूएंसी?
I'll tell you why. First of all, I remember an Arvind Kejriwal. And there is an Arvind Kejriwal I knew in 2011 and the Arvind Kejriwal sitting in front of me today. That Arvind Kejriwal says, never will I join politics. This Arvind Kejriwal is deep into politics. That Arvind Kejriwal of 2011 says, we don't like this personality cult. And we are doing what we are doing. We are a group of committed people. We don't believe in the personality cult. Look at this Arvind Kejriwal. This Arvind Kejriwal who's sitting here 4 feet away from me is totally making his campaign a clash of personalities. I will campaign against Sheila Dikshit. I am fighting her. You have invested so heavily in this clash. All your comments, I find, are clearly aimed at positioning yourself vis-a-vis Sheila Dikshit. This is a personality cult that you stood against. And if you were to lose, therefore, vis-a-vis Sheila Dikshit, it's not a loss just for yourself, it's a loss for your whole party. That's one. Now, point number 2, which is a very simple point. Arvind, you say औकात क्या है बीजेपी की? You tell me, you don't think even 10% of the BJP voters are going away from you? Going towards you? Are you not confident enough to say even 10 or 20 or 30% of BJP voters are going towards you? Because if they are going towards you,
that is what
then
I said,
incrementally in a three-way fight, you are helping Sheila Dikshit. There is no, it's basic mathematical logic, Arvind. Anyway, answer the first question first.
What was your first question?
Personality cult.
You see, today Sheila Dikshit has become the symbol of corruption in Delhi. Most of the scams which have electricity scam, water scam, Commonwealth Games scams, all the scams which have taken place and the price rise that is taking place, people want to defeat Sheila Dikshit under any circumstances. So Aam Aadmi Party has decided to put up their best candidate against Sheila Dikshit. What's wrong in it? Why can't BJP do the same thing? If BJP is actually serious about defeating Sheila Dikshit, BJP is not. BJP has actually been helping Sheila Dikshit. They've been putting up the weakest candidate against Sheila Dikshit because they have a match fixing, they have an underhand deal with Sheila Dikshit. They put up the weakest candidate against Sheila Dikshit in last 15 years.
Why are you
so
putting yourself versus Sheila Dikshit? It's because you have chief ministerial aspirations.
No, it's not necessary.
Of course it is.
We want to defeat her. And the party feels that I am the strongest candidate of Aam Aadmi Party, so we have, I am fighting against
You don't
Sheila
have chief ministerial aspirations?
No, I'm not fighting elections for chief minister.
No, nobody fights elections for chief minister. They all say they
I don't have any chief ministerial aspiration.
You're not going to be chief minister.
I'm not going. I become the chief minister. I don't become the chief minister. It is for the party to decide.
Everybody
it is for the people.
I.K. Gujral said before becoming prime minister.
But there is nothing wrong in it. If everyone else says that party will decide and people will decide, they are saying the right thing. Everyone says the same thing.
That's the kind of political line which I believe is not an honest line. You know, why are we not? Why are we not honest with our own ambition? Is ambition bad? Let me go to a deeper subject.
Yes, ambition is bad. Ambition is bad in politics. Ambition is bad in politics, let me say that. We are not in politics to become ministers. We are not in politics to become chief ministers. We are not in politics to become MLAs. I was in an income tax commissioner. I left that job for 10 years. I was working in Juggis. I entered this movement because there was a burning this thing inside me that we have to get rid of corruption. For 2 years we were struggling. पुलिस के डंडे खाए हम लोगों ने, पुलिस थाने के अंदर हम लोग पिटे हैं, हम लोग जेल गए हैं. After that, when we have entered into politics, we will enter into politics. We will clean up the politics of this country. We are not here for political ambitions. We are here to clean up the country.
Admitted, Arvind, there was a battle of supremacy between you and Anna Hazare.
Of course not. There was absolutely no battle of supremacy.
He wanted to remain non-political, you wanted to make it political.
He
would not agree.
That is true.
He would not agree.
So this is not battle of supremacy. Please. Of course this is not battle of supremacy. There is a difference of opinion. I completely admit there is a difference of opinion.
But what does it stem from? Ambition.
Where is the ambition?
Thing which you deny.
Where is the ambition?
Political ambition.
Where is the political ambition? If there was a political ambition,
exhibiting by becoming the chief ministerial face of the Aam Aadmi Party.
How can there be? I left my job in 2000.
Lot of people in politics have left things and come and join politics.
In the year 2000, if I had to enter into politics, I would have formed the political. In 2000, when I left my job, I actually thought in 2012 I will bring Anna into the movement and then I will form a political party. It's hilarious what you're talking. For 12 years I was there working in the Juggis. At that time I was always nurturing. एक दिन मैं अन्ना को लेके आऊंगा, फिर अन्ना को मैं अनशन पे बिठा दूंगा, फिर अन्ना को मैं धोखा दे दूंगा और फिर मैं पार्टी बना लूंगा.
ये तो हो
What nonsense?
No, it can be easy. What happens is if you had joined politics immediately after leaving the revenue service, you would have not got the mass appeal or the impact.
So here, at that time I thought that in 2011 I will bring Anna and we will get the mass appeal.
Why not?
In 2000 I decided
one second.
It really sounds hilarious.
Here's what you see, it's always said.
You are prejudiced.
It's always, no, I have no prejudice. When I sit on this chair, let me assure you one thing. I'm doing my job. And I have equal prejudice towards all political parties. It's not like I have any soft corner for any one political party. I am trying to get you to answer a basic question, which your rivals put at you. And I think that it is in your interest to give me a straight answer to this one.
I'm giving a straight answer.
They say that Arvind Kejriwal is a very intelligent man. The one thing even your worst rivals don't accuse you of is a low IQ. They say this man has an IQ of at least 150. He's planned all this out. He came out, he had the social acceptability. He had the social acceptability. Well, allow me. Social acceptability. Through the movement, he got a stature. Then he revealed his ambition.
So can you just tell me that what could be my plans for the next 2 years, or 3 years, or 5 years?
I think right now you're trying to be chief minister.
And then the prime minister.
I don't know. Do you want to be?
And then?
Do you want to be?
It's hilarious.
Do you want to be?
No, of course not.
You don't want to be?
I neither want to be the chief minister, nor do I want to be the prime minister of this country. My only intention is that we want a clean system. We want this country to be rid of corruption. We want the people of this country to live in peace and harmony. That is all. Our politics is about, if we can get rid of corruption, I think if we can get rid of communalism in this country, if we can get all religions and all castes and all people together, and if we can provide an honest environment to the people of this country to do business, I think India is a country which can which can become a global superpower, which can become #1 country. By superpower I don't mean that we will win over other countries, but I think we are first-class citizens who are victims of third-class governance. We need to improve governance, and we have entered into politics to improve governance.
And let me say something to you. For all the many things that I disagree with you, may I say that I agree with everything you just said. Because there is always scope for good people and qualified people to join politics. The reason all these questions will be asked to you, and I will continue to ask you this and more questions, is only to ascertain the depth of your cause and to understand where you plan to go. So we'll get into the whole question of what you plan nationally in just a bit. Before that, Arvind, the whole charge against you is that of your anarchist approach. You make comments which don't add up. And, you know, it's been a vicious fight. For example, this poster about rapes in Delhi. Now, there has to be a slightly sophisticated, subtle, or maybe if I were to say, civilized way of doing things.
Rape is uncivilized.
No, 1 minute. A picture of you and Sheila Dikshit, with you marked as honest and her as corrupt. Followed by the slogan, इस बार भी दिया बेईमानों को वोट तो महिलाओं का होता रहेगा बलात्कार. Personal.
It's true.
No, one second. बेईमान होता रहेगा बलात्कार. Is there no other way of saying it?
What is better way?
I don't know, you tell me.
You tell me, give a suggestion, we'll change it.
You tell me, Arvind, don't you find another way of sending that message across? You know, everybody understands where who stands.
I'll tell you.
But when you personalize the campaign, you are actually
what.
saying that Sheila Dikshit is responsible personally at an individual level for not just allowing, but creating a set of circumstances which allow rapes to happen.
Someone has to take responsibility. Who takes responsibility? The head of the government? Today, everything that is going wrong in the central government, if Dr. Manmohan Singh can come around and say that I am not responsible for anything, obviously the head of the government has to take responsibility. Obviously the things are not hunky-dory in Delhi. Obviously so many rapes are taking place in Delhi. And why are rapes taking place in Delhi? Only because the police is not working properly. The security, there is a complete lack of security in Delhi. The people are feeling insecure. So someone has to take responsibility. And it is the head of the government that has to take
at the same time, you can't move towards civil disobedience. You have asked people stop paying your electricity bills. This is civil disobedience. As a political party, you cannot. You've also got to have some limits of your own responsibility. You cannot do things just to be populist.
It's not
then in that case, Arvind, you can say the worst possible things. They may get you an applause, they may get you crowds, but you'll be setting an irresponsible and dangerous precedent.
No, I don't agree. This is exactly what Gandhiji said. He said that if the government passes a law which is completely unjust, then it is the duty of every citizen to break that law. First, the people should try their level best to go talk to the government and to get that law replaced and to get that law changed. But if the government doesn't respond, then it is the duty of every person to break that law and face consequences.
You can say that, but there are many contradictions in what you say and do. You have contradictions. Fundamental campaigning issue in your party has been that of corruption. There have been accusations made against your party members. I don't know. There was some inquiry, I am told, which you had said announced will happen in 3 months.
It has happened.
What has it yielded in 1 year?
It has happened.
What?
They did not find anything against them.
Against any of them?
Yeah.
And it's closed?
It's closed.
So you set up the inquiry, you closed it. Now can I tell you transparently to put on your website everything, the whole entire
it is already
process
there.
of what you found and what was written?
It is there.
Oh, you've given a statement, you've said that we, for reasons explained above, do not find any merit in the complaint. There is no substance in the complaint and the respondent stands exonerated of all charges.
This is what the
now you form the basic methodology you used to exonerate these people was wrong. You cannot be in a position where you appoint the people who will be carrying out the inquiry.
I'll give you an
Was that a
example.
mistake or not, Arvind?
Let me give you an example. You are running Times Now, right? Suppose you have an employee who has done something wrong. There are two ways of handling it. One is Times Now will have its own internal inquiry to deal with it. And secondly is the law of the land will take its own course and they will deal with that man.
Yes.
Similarly, in our own party, this internal inquiry is about keeping our own party clean. So that is the reason that we set up this inquiry.
Tough to accept that.
So don't accept it. It is not for your acceptance.
It's not for my acceptance?
No, it is not for your.
It doesn't matter if the people don't accept it.
Just
either.
listen to me.
No, 1 second. See, Arvind.
I'm coming to that.
Arvind,
please allow me to complete my sentences.
No, 1 minute. You see, this is the problem. This is the problem. You were open. You were transparent.
I'm still transparent. We have put up everything
today
on the
you are
website.
arrogantly saying, you don't accept it? Don't accept it. It's not for you to accept. How does it matter? Do you know how many people watching this interview right now will say, this is not the same Arvind Kejriwal we knew. There is a tinge of arrogance that has come into Arvind Kejriwal.
You are not allowing me to speak.
Don't you think so?
No, I don't think so. You are not allowing me to speak. You see, we set up an internal inquiry because we want to keep our party clean.
Yes.
And therefore this internal inquiry found that these people have not done anything wrong.
Yes.
Now we are not in government.
Yes.
The government has CBI, the government has police, the government has enforcement directorate, the government has income tax department, the government has excise department, the government has all the departments. They have set all their departments against us. They filed a PIL, a PIL was filed in Delhi High Court against Manish Sisodia, saying that he was using foreign funds. The Home Ministry has filed an affidavit now saying that there was no foreign funds used in this. So please set up all your inquiries, please set up all your, they have already put all their agencies against us, they also didn't find anything.
Do you think Colgate is a big issue?
Of course,
the disappearance of the files?
Of course it's a big
issue.
issue.
Do you think Sri Prakash Jaiswal is absolutely clean and honest and there's no case that can be made out against him?
Of course there should be, but who will
the Congress party doesn't think so. As per the Congress party,
it's not about Congress
1 minute,
party.
It is. Because I take your own logic. I said the Congress party's internal assessment is that there is no need to inquire anything against Sri Prakash Jaiswal. Similarly, the DMK's...
Please allow me to...
You are a political party. I'm talking of political parties, then I'll give you full chance to respond. A. Raja, do you think he's completely honest? The DMK's internal assessment, by the way, is that there is absolutely no case that can be made out against A. Raja.
So now can I speak?
Yes. Contradiction.
Internal inquiry of DMK says that A. Raja is not guilty.
Yes.
Internal inquiry of Congress says that Sri Prakash Jaiswal is...
Nothing to explain.
Forget about Shiv, that Dr. Manmohan Singh is not guilty.
Yes.
Right? But it is not about internal inquiries. This country cannot run on the basis of internal...
But that's exactly what you did.
But let me speak.
But that's what you did.
But let me speak.
Didn't you do that?
But let me speak.
No, but did you do that?
But let me speak.
No, but
can I answer your question?
Did you or did you not do that?
Can I answer your question?
No, but answer this specific counter. Did you or did you not do the same internal inquiry?
Do I have a right to be heard in the court of Justice Arnab Goswami?
Answer the question.
Can I speak? It is not about internal inquiries. Internal inquiries are basically meant to keep your own party clean.
Yes.
You can raise fingers at internal inquiries. Yes. You can raise fingers at DMK's internal inquiry. You can raise fingers at... It is about whether we have the right kind of systems in place in the country to hold those inquiries, and if they are found guilty, send them to jail. Do we have an independent CBI? Do we have an independent income tax department? Do we have an honest revenue intelligence? Do we have all these? All these departments are there directly under the government. So why can't the government put... The government has already done it. The government has already put all these agencies against us, and the government also did not find anything against us. So where is the problem?
Then frankly, Arvind, I again put this question to the test. Everyone watching the news hour today, I'll put this question to them in English, and you can put it in your own way. Because you say that I put the question, I twist the question in such a way to get a certain answer. I put the question, then you put the question. My question to the viewer watching news hour today is, Arvind Kejriwal supports his internal inquiry and says if the government wants, they can have their own inquiries, but he feels that his internal inquiry against charges of those people associated with the Aam Aadmi Party are the best way to do it. Now, Arvind Kejriwal makes that point. Do you agree or disagree with him? Would you like to rephrase this in any manner that you want to put?
No, I think it's fine, but I would like to say that, don't you agree that the country should have an independent agency to deal with allegations of corruption against any politician belonging to any political party? That's it. It is those independent agencies.
That's not the real question in the context of the chat.
But that is my real question. That could be your real question.
No, we disagree on that. Let's say we agree to disagree.
We agree
your
to
next
disagree.
contradiction.
Right.
Your next contradiction is this whole business of your radical solutions for the Indian economy. Consider this. In your party manifesto, which you released in 2012, you said, quote, "Today the common man is unable to afford the basic commodities due to high prices. Government has deliberately inflated rates of many commodities just to ensure that corporate giants make more profit. This is direct corruption." Now here comes the explosive part. The Aam Aadmi Party believes that the prices of critical commodities should be determined with people's consent. Now, let me preface this by saying, on numerous news hour programs and other programs, I have personally gone out and said that the prices are unacceptable. You can't have 80 rupees of onion. But how can prices be determined with people's consent? Suppose you go to Janakpuri today or to Rohini and people say, Mr. Kejriwal, we want to pay 5 rupees per kilo for onions. Then?
I think this statement has been misinterpreted.
I've quoted it.
No, I completely agree. It has not been drafted properly. What we actually meant is that there are certain commodities for which the government fixes prices. And when the government fixes prices on the basis of various lobbying that is done in the government. That is what we meant.
No, but you've got it. You say, a manifesto says, if petrol, diesel, gas, electricity and water rates are reduced, other commodities will naturally become cheaper. A system will be put in place.
So these are the commodities
by which people's consent is necessary for future pricing of critical commodities.
That is
if people say, I want to pay 2 rupees for petrol, 1 rupee for diesel, 50 paisa for gas, I want electricity at 1 rupee and water, maybe I want it almost free, and Arvind Kejriwal, you made that promise to us. The people who are voting for you, they will turn around and say, Mr. Kejriwal, deliver. You made that promise to us. What will you tell them? I got it written down wrong?
So I'm clarifying it. Can I clarify?
Please.
Exactly these 5 commodities that you named.
Yes.
These are the commodities for which the government fixes prices. The government fixes prices for electricity, the government fixes prices for water, the government fixes prices for petrol, the government fixes prices for diesel. And how do they fix the prices? They fix the prices on the basis of various lobbying that is done with the government. The electricity companies go and they influence various ministers, and that is how they get higher electricity prices. Water companies go and they influence the government, and what we are saying is that put out the entire data in public domain.
No, are you agreeing that this whole business of, basically, let me get this.
You are not allowing me to speak.
Are you saying the basis of allowing people...
Can I complete what I'm... Can I complete? So what we are trying to say is that put out the entire information in public domain. For instance, on electricity. On electricity, put out the entire data in public domain. On the basis of data, if you have public hearings all across Delhi, in those public hearings, the people will see that data, they will come prepared.
Oh, then they'll agree.
What?
In the public hearings, you think people will agree?
Have you seen the public hearings that happen in Delhi?
Well, I have certainly had experience of a lot of public hearings.
Now, in these public hearings, people do come out with excellent suggestions. It is just that they are not heard. The people come with excellent suggestions. They come with whatever data is put out in public domain. They don't put out the entire data in public domain. Please have... Now, you don't have faith in the people of this country.
No.
I have faith in the people of this country.
You know where you are going wrong.
Mr.
You know where you are going wrong.
You have to allow me.
You know where you are going wrong.
Please allow me to speak. Please allow me to
Kejriwal,
please allow me to speak. This is my interview. No, this is not your interview.
Mr. Kejriwal, you're making tall and false promises to the people.
But let me speak. That is exactly what I'm saying. Please put the entire data in public domain. I'll give you a small example. Delhi has a total water production of 840 million gallons per day, right? It has a population of 1.5 crore people. Divide this. It comes to around 220 liters per capita per day. More than 40% of Delhi does not get water in their houses. Now people want to know, where is this water going? So people need answers for that. Now, if you don't give them answers and you say, no, the government is doing best for them and the government ought to fix prices for water for the... We are saying put out the entire data in public domain.
So the data goes in the public domain, and after that prices are fixed by the Aam Aadmi?
No, then have public hearings all across Delhi. Let the people come up with the solutions, and involve the people in governance. That's all we are saying.
Okay, involve but that is a correction.
Don't fix the prices sitting in your own ministry. The prices should not be fixed by the minister.
Now let me speak. You're getting my basic point. That
I think you are also getting my basic point.
I'm not. I'm trying to, but I'm not. It's difficult to, because Arvind, what is happening is you are making the right point. My accusation against you is that hyperbole. You know, what you're saying right now is very sensible.
I think you're projecting this as a hyperbole.
No.
All that we are saying is that the people should be involved in governance. People should not be just consumers of various decisions that are taken by the government.
One final question on this, and then we'll move on. My question to you is that you've got your heart in the right place. You are saying prices should come down. Everybody is with you on that. But you are overstating the case to make it understandable to what you think is your potential voter. And then you are saying, "Aapki sehmati se hum जो है prices determine करेंगे." So what happens?
People should be involved in it.
No. There is a big difference.
What you are saying is that the minister should fix the price.
Mr. Kejriwal, I am not saying that.
The public should be involved in
I am not saying that. What I am pointing out is the huge difference, in my view, between people's participation and people's consent. You write in your manifesto and you say in your public meetings people's consent. Now what you're telling me is people's participation. I personally think, Mr. Kejriwal, there's a world of difference between the two, and your voter will come back to you after the election and say, Mr. Kejriwal, you said our consent, now you're saying our participation. Please decide what you're saying.
I'll tell you what. The public participation, in the name of public participation, that takes place in this country is completely farce. People have lost faith in these kind of public hearings. It is basically a one-way exercise. People come, people speak, those 4 or 5 people sit on the stage and they just keep on hearing and they do whatever they have to do. It has to be a public hearing where the people's voices are actually heard and taken into account. So how do you, if you can suggest me a better way between consent and participation, if you can find a better way, I will amend this manifesto.
I simply feel that if you feel that you can tell people I'll get you to participate, not give you consent, I am fundamentally sure that if people believe in what you're saying and believe in your, or your own personal integrity, then they will accept you at face value.
No, I agree with you. Arnab, all that I'm trying to say is that today the people have lost faith in the word public participation. Believe me, whenever you talk to them and you say public participation, immediately what comes to their mind is those farce public hearings. Now, consent is also a difficult word, I agree. The idea is to tell them that there will be an honest participation of the people and the public hearings will not be turned into a farce, into a one-way exercise, and whatever they say, a gist of all that will be brought on table and then final decision will be taken. Maybe a final decision will be also be taken up front rather than going into a room and taking. This is the spirit of this. We will appropriately amend this.
Anyway, see, the idea of talking to is not only to get you on the defensive or talk about contradictions. Let me get your vision now before we wrap this up. Mr. Kejriwal, do you believe, how do you view national politics? How can a person like you, who was frankly until a year and a half back, heading a national movement, restrict yourself to Delhi? How do you see this play out? There are 2 possibilities. One is that you do as well as you're saying and you form a majority and form a government. The other is that you become a third player in Delhi. What happens in these 2 circumstances? What if at the national level, how does your game play out?
Let's see, because Delhi elections are going to be very critical. So after Delhi elections, obviously we will participate in national elections, but to what extent and where is something that will be decided by
How
Delhi
keen
elections.
are you to participate in national elections?
You see, we are very keen that the anti-corruption movement, which was national, this our exercise of cleaning up should be all across the country and not limited only to Delhi. But we are starting with Delhi, and I think this movement, we still are a movement. It's a political movement.
But you want to branch it out nationally?
Yeah, of course.
Are you sure you'll be able to do that?
Definitely. The results of Delhi would be very critical.
And if you lose Delhi, if you don't do well in Delhi, how big a blow is it going to be?
I think it's a blow for Arnab Goswami and his future and his children's future.
No, serious.
I am serious. I am serious. ये मेरा चुनाव नहीं है, अरविंद केजरीवाल को चुनाव नहीं लड़ना. अगर हम चुनाव हार गए तो इस देश के लोगों का जो एक उम्मीद की किरण जगी, आज 1977 में 1977 के अंदर एक किरण जगी थी, आज 40 साल के बाद दूसरी किरण जगी है, आशा की एक किरण जगी है. अगर ये किरण भी टूट गई तो अगले 40 साल के अंदर तो दूसरा उम्मीद नहीं आने वाला. I am not giving up.
Suppose a situation comes.
I am not giving up. We are here for good.
I am asking. You're saying you're here for good. That's good. Suppose you get 20% of the vote. I'm just saying, suppose you get 20% of the vote, you become a significant player but not a key player. What happens to your national ambitions after that?
I don't have any ambitions.
What happens to the, let's put it this way, because what happens to the Aam Aadmi Party going national for the general election? Will you still do that?
We'll still do that.
We'll still do that. But a win in Delhi is what you need.
I think it's critical.
How personal is this fight for you?
It's not personal at all, and that is the reason we are not stressed out at all. It's not at all personal because ये हमारी जीत नहीं है. What is important is the honest efforts, and that is हमने अपना तन मन धन सब कुछ लगा दिया दांव के ऊपर. My own family and most of the people who are working with us. There are more than 7,000 volunteers working in Delhi. इन लोगों ने अपनी volunteers ने young लड़के लड़कियां हैं, इन्होंने अपनी नौकरियां छोड़ दी, अपनी दुकानें बंद कर दी हैं. Not for अरविंद केजरीवाल, not for आम आदमी पार्टी, because इन लोगों को ये लग रहा है कि नवंबर से ये क्रांति शुरू होगी और पूरे देश को साफ करेगी उसके बाद. It is their hope which is important. इन लोग ये सारे क्यों आए हैं? ये सारे एक उम्मीद की किरण लेके आए हैं. ये मेरी लड़ाई नहीं है अर्नब. Believe me, it's not about me. I think it's about the country.
Arvind, I thank you for giving me straight and I must say frank and open replies.
Thank you. Thanks, Arnab.
And it's been a total pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.